guys, it's Trina and this is my July TBR. I used to include my most anticipated releases of each month in with these TBR videos, but I did recently post a separate video on all the releases for this summer, June, July, and August that I am most anticipating. So if you want to know what my most anticipated July releases are, you can definitely refer to that video and I will link it in the description. First of all, I'm going to start out with a book that I am currently reading. So I am currently between chapters of Hunted by Megan Spooner. This is a YA fantasy Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I picked it up because I've read Megan Spooner's series, the Starbound trilogy that she co-wrote with Amy Kaufman, and I thought it would be a good idea to see if I like her solo writing. I actually picked this one up several weeks ago and I got really sucked into it. I was just like totally here for everything this book was doing, and then it was due back at the library and I had to stop, send it back, but I do have it back from my library now and I have continued reading it. I am on page 212, so a little bit over halfway, and I'm just really loving this book. I think if you love Beauty and the Beast retellings that are very true to the original fairy tale feeling but also do it differently, I think you would enjoy this one. I mean, the setup initially is very Beauty and the Beast. You can feel like, okay, I know these characters, I know, you know, this town and this situation and everything, but then it just starts expanding on its world even more, and I am just really loving this one, so definitely want to finish it as soon as I can. The other book I am currently between chapters of is Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. I'm actually listening to this one on audiobook, but I did get a physical copy of this one too. I had this one first, and then I decided I wanted to listen to the audiobook. And by the way, the audiobook of this is narrated by James Marsters, who played Spike in Buffy. I think he's doing a pretty good job with the audiobook, to be honest, but Lord of Shadows is the sequel to Lady Midnight, which is in the Dark Artifices series, one of the new Shadowhunters series by Cassandra Clare. I like all of her Shadowhunters books, but I don't like obsessively love them, but I really do like the Dark Artifices series. So I am currently listening to this. So far I am enjoying it, and I've got to finish it in the next couple weeks because that audiobook is due back in like 2 or 3 weeks. So we'll be listening to this one this month. Also in July, I'm planning to read Unraveling by Sarah Ella. This is the sequel to Unblemished, and I know Sarah Ella in real life, and her publisher so kindly sent me a finished early copy. This book doesn't come out until July 11th, but I'm really eager to read it, continue the series, find out what's going to happen to our characters next, because book one ended in a way that I really need to figure out what is going on now. I'm definitely planning to read this one sometime early in July so that I can have a review up around the release date of this book and let you guys know how it is. I also have a couple of buddy reads planned this month, so I will be reading Obsidian and Stars by Julie Eschbach, which is the sequel to Ivory and Bone, which came out last year. It is a prehistoric kind of fantasy story that is inspired by Pride and Prejudice, which I think you can see those elements throughout it. I really loved the first book, and I'm going to be buddy reading this one with my friend Karen from the channel A Simple Cup of Tea. She and I both really love the first book, and she was looking to do a buddy read, and I was like, why don't we read that sequel, because I still haven't gotten to it yet. It just came out, so you know, I'm not like too behind like usual, but we're definitely going to be trying to read this one sometime in July, and I'm really excited to see what else is going to happen in this world with these characters, because I really loved the characters and just all the dynamics between everything in that first book. The other buddy read I'm planning for this month is going to be with Rebecca from the channel Why Mermaids, and we're hoping to read The Lion Game by Ruth Ware. This is an adult thriller about 4 adult women who were friends in school, and they were all in this little exclusive group called The Lion Game, and they would play this game with each other and like do dares and pranks and stuff, and they got kicked out of school for one of the things tied up in their Lion Game group. And now it's years later, they haven't spoken to each other since that event happened, and all of a sudden 3 of these women get a text message from the 4th woman that just says, "I need you," and they all go running to her to figure out what has happened. I'm pretty sure someone is dead, but I don't know how or anything like that. It's a very vague synopsis, but I know I want to read this one because I just discovered Ruth Ware's books this year, and I have really loved the way that she writes her mysteries and just grips me and makes me keep wanting to know what happened. Like I just can't stop reading her books. I have to always know what happened. Rebecca did kind of help introduce me to her books, so I'm always like, Rebecca, let's buddy read the next Ruth Ware book. So we're planning to do that this month, and I believe in the US it comes out July 25th, so hopefully I'll get it read by the end of the month. That's like right at the end of the month. It's probably cutting it close, but anyway, I'm really looking forward to this book. And the last book I know I want to read in July is Bad Romance by Heather Demetrios. This is a YA contemporary story that is about an abusive relationship. It's about a girl who she has a rough home life, she doesn't like the town she's in, and she meets this new boy, falls for him, gets into this relationship, and then I guess realizes that it is very toxic, and it's just about her journey trying to get out of that bad romance. And I am reading this one along with the Once Upon a Read-Along group this month, and they pick a book of the month every month to read together, and then there's always a live show to discuss that book, and I am actually going to be on the live show, and the live show is going to be on August 6th on Elizabeth's channel, the Owlery. But I would definitely love for any of you guys to read this book along with us and come watch that live show, because I am really looking forward to being able to read this book and get to discuss it with you guys. So those are the 6 books that I am planning to read in July. I've got my fingers crossed that I can actually do that. If you will also be reading any of these in the month of July, let me know that down below, and I would also love to just hear whatever you are planning to read this month. What is on your TBR? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the comments. Bye!